Let's go ahead and get started. If you need any props or anything, go ahead and grab those now. Let me just make sure that my phone is silenced. All right, good to go. Excellent. Hello, welcome. Happy Thursday. And gosh, time is flying, isn't it? It's been 7 weeks already. Today is the culmination of our journey through the chakras, starting all the way from the base of our spine, our root chakra, moving all the way up to our crown today. I can't believe 7 weeks has already flown by. So we get to kind of bring this full circle and close it off today. And we're actually going, I'll just talk about some of the things I've got around me. I've got clear crystal quartz, because in a couple of different forms, because the crown chakra is associated with all of the colors combined, so that emanates as a white light. Sometimes it's also referred to as a violet light. So we can work with either one of those colors. And last week we also worked with, this is amethyst for the third eye, but we can also use that for the crown chakra as well. So of course, we'll always work through a little bit of everything, but our focus today will be on the crown. And we're actually gonna start laying down. So the invitation is legs up the wall. If you're not near a wall, you can grab a chair and put your legs up the chair, or if you're near your couch or something, you can put your legs up on the couch. But if you are near a wall, let's go ahead and bring our hip as close to the wall as we can get it. And then we'll just kind of swing the legs up here. And more often than not, I kind of have to wiggle myself towards the wall. So that might happen for you too. Just wiggle into the wall, get as close to the wall as you can. And then we're just gonna let the wall hold our legs today. So we can just let go, even letting the toes relax, maybe walking the shoulder blades under a little bit more. Hands can rest on the thighs, or anywhere on the body that feels supportive, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or both hands on the belly, and softening the eyes if that's available to us, maybe even closing them completely. Let's start with a cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose, filling up, and an open mouth exhale. Feeling the body softening into the support below just a little bit more. Let's take another cleansing breath like that. Inhaling, open mouth exhale. Good. With each breath, noticing the body surrender even more. And then one more just like that. Big breath in through the nose, open mouth exhale. Letting everything go. Letting the breath be easy. Just observing the inhale and the exhale as it comes in through the nostrils, down through the back of the throat, into the lungs, filling them up. And then watching that journey in reverse as the breath expels from the lungs, through the throat, back out through the nostrils. This gentle exchange of breath, of air, breathing in pieces of the surrounding world, and exhaling pieces of our internal world. The crown chakra is an exchange as well. It's a place where we can connect to the world around us, to the collective unconscious, as it's known in psychology. Connecting each one of us, each human being, to each other human being on the planet. Let's just be here for another breath or two, watching the breath flowing into and out of the body. And then if there's a particular intention that we'd like to set for our practice today, we can do that now. Or maybe just following along with the intention to open up our crown chakra. And when we're done with this next breath, at the bottom of the exhale, we can bend the knees and gently roll over to one side. Just pause here for a moment. We can even use our hand to gently cradle our head as we rest on our side. And then with as little effort as possible, let's press ourselves up and we'll make our way onto all fours on our mat. So hands underneath our shoulders, knees under the hips. And let's just move the spine around a little bit. On our inhale, dropping the belly down, opening the heart, lifting the tailbone. Exhaling, rounding the spine as we tuck our chin towards our chest, scooping our tailbone under. And let's just move with our own breath here a few more times at our own pace. Connecting especially with the crown, so the top of our head, as we roll through the spine one vertebra at a time. Maybe even starting to notice the relationship between the base of our spine and the crown of our head, how they move in synchronicity with each other. Tilting into and away in cycles with our breath. We'll do one more just like that. Good. And then on our next breath, let's go ahead and come to a neutral spine. We can always substitute a fist if our wrists get tired at any time. I'm going to do that now. So fists down, thumbs facing in towards each other. Let's extend the right leg back towards the wall behind us, the left arm forward towards the space in front of us. Lifting up through the belly button a little bit, finding a spinal balance here. So as we touched on a little bit last week with the third eye, the crown chakra also has the balance between the right and the left hemispheres of the brain, which correspond to the right and the left sides of our body. Let's go ahead and release our hand down, our knee down, and we'll switch sides. Extending the left leg back behind us, the right arm forward, belly button lightly engaged, lifting up, shoulders away from the ears, spreading fingers, spreading toes. That also corresponds with balancing the masculine and feminine energies in our body, the masculine active energies with the receptive, creative, feminine energies. We're here for one more cycle of breath. And then let's go ahead and return both hands to the mat, and we'll bring our toes together at the back of our mat. Let's sink our heels towards our hips, making our way into child's pose. For now, let's keep the arms extended. We'll walk the fingers far away out towards the front edge of our mat, maybe even crawling one hand at a time, getting as much length in our back as we can, almost feeling like our torso is separating out from our hips, and then resting our forehead down towards the floor. Hopefully our forehead rests on the mat, or maybe we slide a book or a brick under there to raise the floor up a little bit. And then let's just gently rock our head from side to side. Shoulder blades lifting up, elbows lifting up, inviting the heart to melt down towards the earth in this space. Head supported on the floor or a brick. We're here for one more breath. Good. Let's come to stillness with our head. We'll come up a little bit, back into our all fours. Let's curl the toes underneath us at the back of our mat and move our legs really close together. So touching the right leg into the left, left into right, knees right next to each other. Curling our toes onto the floor, and then let's bring the crown of our head, so not the forehead this time, but the very crown of our head down onto the mat. And then we get to decide how close or how far away from our knees. So farther away is going to be a little bit more gentle. Closer is going to be a little bit more intense. So finding that space that works best for you. And let's make sure that we're nice and straight on our neck here. So we can even place our hands on the floor to help support our head and neck. We don't want to push down too hard, just a gentle connection to the earth so that we help to protect our neck. Strengthening our neck a little bit, keeping the chin tucked towards the chest, space around the shoulders. This is a supported rabbit pose. We're here for one more cycle of breath. Breathing deeply, noticing what we feel in the crown of our head, and then let's take an inhale, press through the hands, come all the way back up, and we'll make our way into a seated position on the floor for a moment. Let's sit tall with a straight spine, even softening the eyes if that feels good to us, bringing our hands together at our heart space and just noticing the sensation that we feel at the crown of our head and anywhere else in the body. Let's keep the palms pressing, but open up the first finger, middle finger, and ring finger so that we express the lotus mudra with our hands. The pinky and the thumbs are sealed, but everything else is opening up like a lotus blossom spreading wide. We can inhale, taking that up to the crown of our head. The lotus blossom that lives in the crown chakra is a 1,000-petaled lotus blossom, symbolizing opening up to endless possibilities. Let's take an inhale, taking the arms up, opening them out. And then on the exhale, palms down, let's press down, almost with some resistance here. So feeling the shoulder blades come together on the back a bit. There's a little bit of effort as we continue to press the palms towards the floor, a little resistance there. Good, let's take an inhale, drawing the arms up, bringing the palms together, even looking up, and then exhaling, palms out and then palms down. Feel that resistance again as we press down. Good, almost like we were pressing a big balloon or something down into the floor. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, arms up, looking up, taking the chin towards the sky, and then exhaling, peeling the hands open, palms down towards the floor, pressing the earth away. Good, let's take a couple of shoulder rolls here. Opening up the chest, the shoulders. I don't know about you, but I've been spending a ton of time in front of the computer. So that can really take a toll on our upper body, our back, our shoulders. Let's reverse that and go the second way. Good. So you might notice that I have a necklace on today. This is a Herkimer diamond. These are found in the Herkimer area of Pennsylvania. And they're very similar to a diamond, very clear like a diamond, although I don't think they hold quite as much value as an actual diamond, but that's okay. Inhaling, arms up, palms together. Exhaling, let's bring the hands down to heart center. Good. I want to offer us something to stretch out our forearms a little bit. So let's take our right hand in front of us and then curling the fingers into a fist. Let's squeeze that fist as tight as feels good, and then flip the palm so that the fingers are facing away from us. The back of our hand is facing towards us. From here, let's curl the wrist towards our arm, and hopefully we start to feel a little bit of a stretch along the back of our palm here, or excuse me, along the back of our forearm. And then from there, let's start to press away. Good, lengthening the arm, keeping a tiny little micro bend in our joint so that we don't lock the joint, but straightening the arm as much as we can. Let's take that shoulder, roll it back and down, plugging the arm bone back into the socket, and keep drawing that fist kind of back towards the shoulder a bit. Good, nice big stretch here. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead and release that. We'll give it a nice shake. Good work. And then let's do the second side. So bringing our left arm in front of us, we'll curl our hand into a fist and then flip the hand so that the back of our hand is facing our body. Let's curl our wrist down towards our elbow and then lengthen the arm away from us. Again, teeny tiny micro bend in our elbow to protect the joint. And then let's roll the shoulder back and down. Feel the shoulder blade sliding down the back, almost like it was sliding into the back pocket of our jeans. We'll keep curling the fist towards our elbow, pressing the back of our wrist towards the space in front of us. Good. One more breath here. Beautiful job. Let's go ahead and release. We'll shake out that arm. Good work. We've been sitting here for a little bit, so let's go ahead and reverse the cross of our legs, and then we'll take another big breath here, inhaling. On the exhale, let's drop the right hand down. We'll take a big side bend over to that right side. Inhaling, both arms up. Exhaling, second side, left hand down, reaching over towards the left. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. That feels so nice today. Inhaling and exhaling, just going at our own pace, breathing into the sides of the body. Good. We'll do one more on each side. Inhaling and then over to the right as we exhale. And then exhaling, second side over to the left. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale, coming all the way back up, and we'll transition to standing on our knees. So if we need extra padding underneath our knees, we can grab that now. And as much as feels good. So we're gonna come to standing on our knees. Let's have the knees about hips width apart. A little closer if that feels more stable, but usually the closer they are, the less stable we feel. So just finding your balance here. And then let's take our hands, interlacing them inside each other, and then placing the hands right at the crown of our head. So pressing our head into our hands, pressing our hands into our head, just as much as feels good. Doesn't have to be super crazy pressing. And then let's take a big breath, inhaling, filling up. On the exhale, taking the hips back, elbows together, let's do a little crunch here. So curling into a tight little ball. Inhaling, opening up, maybe even a slight back bend here, looking up towards the sky, taking the heart up as well. And then on our exhale, let's sit back, elbows together, squeezing, curling in. Good. Inhaling, opening up, opening the elbows, opening the heart, maybe even looking up. Exhaling, rounding, curling in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze into a tight little ball. And then inhaling, last one. Tiny back bend if we want it. And then on our exhale, let's hug those elbows in, curling in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Beautiful. Inhaling, opening back up. Good job. Let's release our hands, and we can keep our blanket if we need it. I'm gonna put mine to the side for a moment. And let's stay standing on our knees, but take our right leg out towards the right side. So toes, all 5 toes facing the long edge of our mat. Let's glue the pinky toe edge down to the floor and start to feel a little lift up through that inner arch of our foot. So we're pressing down on the outside and feeling a lift up on the inside. Let's squeeze the glutes, especially on this right side here. Inhaling, left arm up. Exhaling, diving over towards that left side. We can leave our right hand on our hip if that feels good, or we can slide our hand down our leg somewhere above or below the knee, not right on the knee itself. So wherever we feel most supported here. And then anything that feels good for the neck. We can look down or forward or even up underneath our arm for one more breath. Good, let's take a big inhale. And on the exhale, we'll cartwheel our hand down to the floor. Let's go just a little bit in front of our left shoulder. And then press the hips forward. This time we're gonna really squeeze that left glute. Lots of energy in that left leg here. And then again, anything that feels good for the neck. Let's roll that top shoulder back, scooping the left shoulder underneath us, spinning our heart towards the ceiling a little bit more. Maybe extending that right arm into the sky, spreading the fingers. And then the last option here is to lift that right leg up away from the mat. Good, really squeeze that inner thigh up towards the ceiling. I lied, we've got one more option. If we want, we can bend the knee, catch the foot, and then press the foot into the hand as we lift the heart away. Let's let the head be an extension of our spine. So as the heart moves back, the throat opens. Last breath, wherever we're at. Good, let's go ahead and release that leg if we've got it, both hands to the floor in front of us as we keep that right leg extended out towards the side. Let's find some cat and cow here. Probably won't be as big as our normal cat and cow, so think calves and kittens. Just smaller little movements, moving with the breath. Good work. Let's take the right hand out in front of us. We'll tent up onto the fingertips, and then the left arm sweeps underneath, bringing our hand towards our ankle. So we probably won't touch, that's okay. But just sending the hand in that direction, over towards our foot. Let's press or lay the left shoulder down, the back of our head pressing into the floor, and then spiraling our heart towards the sky any amount. So we get to decide how far we go into this pose here. So maybe today we just have our left ear on the floor and our right elbow turned up towards the sky, and this is our pose. This is perfect. Listening into our bodies as always, letting our body guide us into the pose as deeply as feels good. If we want more, we can take our hand over our head a little more, rolling that top shoulder open, belly drawing in, maybe looking up towards the sky. Good. Let's go ahead and unwind, bringing our right hand into our line of sight. Let's press the floor away, and we'll do a little counter twist here. So left arm reaching up. Good work. Both hands down to the mat. Let's bring that right leg in, and we'll just move the body around in whatever way feels good here. So maybe cat and cow, or maybe some circles with the torso, or maybe even wagging our tail from side to side. Good. And then let's make our way back into child's pose for a moment, reconnecting with the breath. Softening the heart, noticing the sensations that we feel. So the crown chakra is associated with the element of thought. But for today, as we move through our practice, let's see if we can just let the thoughts fly by us, almost like they were clouds in the wind. Noticing a thought, observing it without judgment, and then letting it sweep past us gently. No attachment, just observing. And let's take an inhale. We'll come back up, curling the toes underneath us. Let's bring the the legs closer together, and we'll find that supported rabbit pose again. So crown of the head down to the earth. Hands on either side. Let's press the hands into the floor and then hug the elbows in towards the sides of the body. So feel the hands as they're supporting our head here, supporting our head, supporting our neck. Hands are active, spreading the fingers, last breath. Good, let's go ahead and come all the way back up and we'll just sit for a moment. We can sit on our legs or we can sit with the legs crossed in front of us and just notice the sensation. I know for me, anytime I'm inverted like that or if I come up, doesn't matter how carefully I come up, I always get a little bit of disorientation and a little vertigo, I guess. So if that happens for you, just know that that's normal for you. And just take a moment to let it calm down, let it subside. Good, and then we'll make our way to our all fours once again, and let's come to standing on our knees for our second side. Extending the left leg over towards the left, spreading the toes. Good, setting ourselves up well, anchoring the pinky toe side edge down. Let's bring hands to hips and press the hips forward, shoulders back and down, tall through the crown of our head. Inhaling, right arm up, exhaling over towards that left side. Shoulders down away from the ears, and then anything that feels good for the neck. We can look down, we can look up, we can look straight forward. And then if we'd like, we can bring this hand to our thigh or maybe below the knee. Let's keep opening that shoulder, spinning our heart towards the ceiling a little bit more, really getting long on that right side body. Squeezing our straightened leg even straighter. So feel the glute working, the thigh hugging into the bone. Good, last breath. Let's let the inhale bring us up. On the exhale, cartwheeling down to the mat. Hand a little bit farther than our shoulder so that if we, so that when we kind of lift up a little bit, we're more in a better alignment. Spreading the fingers or even fist down, whichever feels better. Let's press the hips forward, roll that shoulder open, ribs in. So a lot of times when we're in this kind of a pose, our ribs kind of splay forward and it gives us a little back bend. But for right now, we want ribs to fall in or press in towards our spine. Nice long back, nice long side body. Maybe left arm reaches up, maybe even that left leg reaches up. Spreading the toes, spreading the fingers, soft jaw. We can even imagine that white light or maybe a violet light or maybe even a mixture, a white-violet light coming out through the crown of our head, shining forward, opening up that crown chakra, Sahasrara, the crown chakra. And then if we added on, if we caught our foot, we can do that on this side as well. Bending the knee, catching the foot, pressing the foot into the hand, just as much as this hand is drawing back on the foot, and then opening the heart. Let's keep pressing the hips forward. This is a back bend now. So opening the throat, the shoulders, the heart, pressing the hips forward, last breath. Good, let's go ahead and release the hand or the foot if we've got it, and then we'll walk ourselves back onto our hands here. Hinging forward, let's take a couple of little calves and kittens, opening up the back, the spine. Good. Taking care of that low back especially. Beautiful. So tenting up onto the left fingertips, let's invite that hand forward, inhaling, right arm up, and then exhaling, taking our right hand over towards our left foot. It probably won't touch, that's okay. We're just heading in that direction. So a little bit more of a diagonal on that arm today. And then dialing in what feels good in our upper body. So maybe we stay here with our right ear resting on the floor, or maybe we start to walk our left hand over the head a little more, even rolling onto the back of our head, the back of our shoulder blade, looking up towards the sky, finding the spot that works best for us today. Sides are different, so honoring that as well for 2 more cycles of breath. Good. Let's bring our left hand back into our line of sight. We'll press ourselves down, lifting up, and then let's take a little counter twist here. So right arm up towards the ceiling, and then both hands back to the mat, both knees to the mat. And a couple of cat and cows here, or maybe circles, just moving the spine in any way that feels good. Good. All right. And then we'll curl the toes underneath us once again. Let's squeeze the legs in towards each other, and we'll find that rabbit pose, that supported rabbit pose once again. Hands on either side of our head, crown of the head on the floor, hugging the elbows in, strengthen our upper body, so feeling our head supported by our hands, gentle connection between the earth and our head. Feeling the connection of the earth with our body, that support that is there for us in every moment. And then let's go ahead and come back up and just sit for a moment and notice. Good. So if we're seated up on our knees, that's totally fine, or sitting on our lower leg. We can stay there. Otherwise, we can come into a seated position on the ground, and let's take our right arm across the body, lowering the shoulder down, bringing that shoulder back into the socket, and we'll create a couple of wrist circles here as well. Nice little shoulder stretch. Good. And we'll reverse the circle on that hand, opening up our wrists. Maybe opening and closing the fingers a couple of times. And then let's keep the arm where it's at, but drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Deepening into the space around the neck here. We'll keep a light engagement of our belly button. So keep gently tucking the tailbone under, especially if you're sitting on your lower leg. Good. And then let's draw the chin towards the chest, and from here, lift the head back up towards neutral. We'll release that arm. This is a great spot if we've got a belt or a strap. We might want to grab that now. And we'll place the strap over our right shoulder. So let's take our right arm out to the side, palm up, and then bend that elbow, bringing our hand right in between our shoulder blades. Notice how the ribs want to puff out here, so we're going to keep drawing those in and down. We can take our left hand, gently walking our elbow in towards the midline, elbow up towards the sky. Now, we may not get this far today, and that's okay. Maybe we're here, that's totally fine. Just respecting and honoring where your shoulder's at today and being right there, breathing into it. Spreading the fingers, pressing the head gently into our arm, chin parallel to the earth. Good, lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then the last part here, we'll take our left hand out towards the side. Let's spin the palm back towards the wall behind us, and then start to bring our hand up the back. So we might clasp our fingers, or we might just hold on to this strap here. If we don't have a strap, maybe we just hold on to our shirt. So we're working towards right elbow towards the sky, left elbow down towards the ground. And it's okay if we don't exactly get there today. No problem. So this is Gomukhasana, cow face arms, just the upper part. We're here for one more final breath. Good, and then let's go ahead and release the arms. Oh, good stuff. We'll make some shoulder circles here, maybe even one at a time. We can shake them out a little bit, shake the arms out, shake the hands. Good, beautiful work. Okay, If we're seated on our legs, we can stay there if that still feels comfortable. If we need to come off of it, we can switch our legs. If we're coming into a seated position, we'll all just come into this position for the second side. Let's lengthen the legs out towards the wall in front of us. We might put a blanket underneath our hips for support if we need it or want it. Moving the flesh away from the sitting bones, let's lengthen the legs out towards the wall in front of us and gently invite the toes back towards our face. So a little bit of activity in the legs here as we work the second side on our upper body. Extending the left arm across us. We want to hold either above or below the elbow, not the elbow joint itself. Somewhere above or below. And then plugging that shoulder back into the socket, working from here. So lengthening our fingers away from us, and we can create those wrist circles on this side as well. Good, really milking that movement, going as slowly as we can, seeing if we can get 360 degrees on that circle, and then we'll reverse and go the second way. So noticing that the slower our movement is, the more sensation that we can notice, the more sensation is available to us. Let's go ahead and quiet the hand. We'll keep extending that left arm away, and then let's drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Anchoring down that left shoulder even more, sitting really tall with a straight spine. It's tempting to round and slouch down, but let's keep lifting up, hugging in towards the midline, feeling that column of support running through us. Good work. Taking out any extra over-efforting and just having a light engagement in the legs, a light engagement in the hand, the arm, slackening the jaw, softening the eyes. Good. Let's bring our chin towards our chest, and then from here, lift the head back to neutral. Releasing that left arm. We can even take a shoulder roll or two here while we prepare for Gomukhasana arms on the second side. So let's take that left arm out to the side, and then we'll bend our elbow towards the sky, hand towards the middle of our back. Right hand helps to walk this elbow up a little bit more, bringing our hand more towards the center. Watch those ribs, see if they puff out, draw them back in and down. Good. Lifting the chin, gently pressing the back of our head into the arm. Nice, super straight, long spine. And then when we're ready, oops, sorry, I should have had you prepare this already, my bad. Hopefully you put your strap on the left side. If not, go ahead and grab it. And we'll have to set ourselves up a little bit here again. And then once we're there, let's take that right arm out to the side. We'll flip the palm back towards the wall behind us, and then slide the back of our hand up our back. Maybe we clasp, maybe not. Maybe we use the strap or our shirt. Lengthening, staying tall in the spine. Chin lifted, gently pressing into our left arm. And then as best as we can, left elbow towards the sky, right elbow towards the floor. Good, just being with whatever sensation we notice. I remember a time not too long ago, my left arm would not let me do this. I've come a long way with my physical therapy, and I'm grateful for that. So just listening in. If you find a boundary, if you find an edge, work it there gently. Good, beautiful. Let's go ahead and release the hands, and we'll create some shoulder rolls here. Wow, really opening up that upper body today. Feels nice, huh? Good, I hope so. Good, good. So as we've said before, the upper three chakras, the throat, the third eye, and the crown are our connection to spirit, to the universe, to the outer world. And the lower three chakras are our connection to earth, to our foundation. And then the heart is the bridge between the two. So let's do a quick time check. All right, wonderful. Ooh, I know what we want to do next. Okay, good. So this is going to feel really nice. Let's bring our feet to the floor, about hips width apart. And we'll hold on behind one leg. Let's roll down onto our back. Okay. And then from here, we'll hug our knees towards our chest. Let's hold behind the legs to support the knee joints, and we'll just rock gently back and forth for a moment. All right. If this is where we need to stay, that's totally fine. The invitation is to begin to rock forwards and backwards as well. So along the entire length of our spine, seeing how far up we can get onto our neck and shoulders, being mindful of our neck and shoulders. Good. And then seeing if we can rock all the way up onto the base of the spine as well. And if we can't today, that's all right too. We can just make our rolling just really small. Good. Just going as much as feels good here. We'll do one more. Excellent. And then we'll rock and roll up into a seated position once again, or we can roll to one side and then lift ourselves back up into seated. So let's go ahead and bring our feet to the floor, toes to the floor. We'll hold behind our legs, rolling the shoulders back and down. Let's come into boat pose. So we'll spread the toes, pressing the legs into each other. Good work. Nice strong core, lifting up through the crown of the head. Find that light at the crown again. Beautiful. And then let's bring our feet back down to the earth. We'll give ourselves a nice big hug. Let's cross our right ankle in front of our left. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. And then we'll release. We'll do two more just like that. Hands behind the legs, lifting the feet away. Let's see if we can create about a 90-degree angle with our legs today. Shoulders back and down, heart lifting. Energy up through the crown of the head, reaching out into space. Good, and then we'll release our legs, left ankle in front of the right. Let's give a squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Nose towards our knees, rounding, hugging in. And then last one. Toes on the floor, let's lift those feet up. Shoulders down, heart open. Maybe this time we challenge ourselves, taking our hands away from our legs. Lots of core strength here. Good. Keep shining that light through the top of the head, and then we'll return the toes to the floor. Let's bring our right ankle in front again. Nice big squeeze. Big hug in. Good. And then let's go ahead and release. All right, we'll transition one more time onto our knees, and then we'll make our way onto our spine in a moment. So let's come onto our knees again. And again, if we need support underneath the knees, that's fine. Let's grab it. We're going to move into camel pose, a little bit of a back bend here. So feet can be flat on the floor if we'd like, or we can curl the toes under so that we might have access to our heels. We're going to go piecewise, so stepwise through this. Let's bring our hands to our hips and start to squeeze the glutes, pressing the hips forward, pretending like we're pressing our lower legs, or excuse me, our upper legs into a wall, and even pretending like our hip bones are touching that wall, so we're pressing forward. Let's grow tall through the crown of our head, and then roll the shoulders back and down, shoulder blades on the spine, starting to take the elbows back. Now notice we've got a little bit of a back bend going on already. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is our pose today, and that's perfect. If we're right here, we're going to be right here and breathe. If we want to go further, we'll keep squeezing the glutes, keep lifting the heart, and then starting to take our gaze towards the junction between the wall and the ceiling. Let's feel the throat open, but then tuck the chin just a little so that we stay long in the back of the neck. Feel the crown opening up. If we want more, right hand can reach back for our right heel, and maybe left arm comes up. Keep squeezing those glutes, pressing the hips forward. Feel that back bend get a little bit deeper. Maybe now our gaze turns up towards the ceiling. Last breath. Good. On an inhale, let's come all the way back up. And then we'll make our way into that rabbit pose, supported rabbit pose. So hands on the floor, crown of the head down. Shifting the hips slightly towards the shoulders
And then press the earth away. Feel the crown of the head resting on the ground, but feel the length in the neck as we support with our hands. Good. Let's go ahead and release and just rest for a moment. Notice what we notice, feel what we feel. Beautiful work. All right, we'll blink the eyes open and we've got a second side. So let's come back to our camel pose here. We can curl the toes under, or if our toes are tired, we can untuck them too. That's totally fine. Let's turn on those glutes, squeezing the glutes in, pressing the hips forward. Feel that. We might even get a nice stretch on the outside of our leg a little bit here. Our IT band might start to open up with some of this activity. And then let's lift the heart, hands on hips, squeeze those elbows in towards each other, keep pressing the hips forward. Maybe we stay right here. This could be our pose. If we want more, we'll press the hips even farther, keep lifting the hip or the heart towards the sky. So we stay long in the low back. We can take our gaze to the junction between the wall and the ceiling, and then maybe we reach our left hand back for our left heel, maybe right arm up. Maybe gaze turns towards the sky. Remember, there's no destination. Just listening into your own body, going as far as feels good today. Let's take an inhale up, and on the exhale, we'll sit back. And then last one of our rabbit pose. Hands to the floor, crown of the head to the earth, pressing the hands into the ground, almost like we were gonna press our head away from the floor, so it's just lightly touching. Elbows hugging in, belly drawing in and up, shoulders away from the ears, strong upper body, strong neck. Good, let's go ahead and release. Beautiful job. Pause for a moment. Feel what we feel, notice what we notice. Be with the sensations without judgment, without expectation. Okay, beautiful job. So we've got two options for our next pose. We're gonna move into pigeon pose. So we can either do downward facing pigeon on the floor like this way, or we can come to figure 4 on our back. We haven't done a whole lot for our hips today, so this might be the more gentle option, and that's totally fine. We're gonna start on the right side. So if we're in pigeon pose, we'll take our right leg forward first, left leg behind us. If we're in figure 4, let's cross the right ankle over the left knee, just below the left knee, and then we'll thread our hands through, holding on behind the back of that left thigh. Spreading the toes on both feet, a gentle engagement. Let's see if we can soften the shoulders away from the ears, maybe even rolling the shoulder blades underneath us a little bit. So we did a lot of rabbit pose today, which is a gentle inversion. So our head was below our heart. And I'm also a shamanic practitioner, and in my from shamanism, we say that the crown chakra is the place where we can flip our perspective. And actually, we can say that in yoga too. If our head is below our feet, right, in a traditional handstand or headstand, we're going to have a really different perspective, right, than if our head is upright above our feet. So let's go ahead and release this. If we're in pigeon pose, we can transition to the second side. Maybe we want to move through down dog to get there, or maybe just simply sweeping the legs around. And if we're in our reclining pigeon, figure 4, let's simply switch sides, taking our left leg across our right, and then drawing that right knee in. So even in our gentle practice, we can still get all of the benefits from a more strenuous, I'll say, yoga practice in a gentle way. So being gentle with our body, we can still get all those same benefits, that same inversion feeling,
the same switch up of our perspective, seeing things through different eyes. Even here, lying on our back, we've got a whole different view, a whole new perspective. So if you find yourself stuck on something, maybe try changing the position of your body. Maybe lay down for a moment. Or even try that supported rabbit pose and see if a new idea comes. Let's go ahead and release our feet, both feet to the floor, and we'll bring the bottoms of our feet together, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, lying down butterfly pose. This is a great place if we have bricks or books, we can slide them underneath our knees for a little bit of extra support, or we can just let the knees fall down towards the earth, letting gravity open up a little bit on the inner thighs, inner groin. We'll keep rolling those shoulder blades under, back of the head gently pressing into the floor, just softening in here. A gentle release, letting gravity do the work. Maybe even closing the eyes if that feels good. And bringing the attention back to the breath. Feeling the body rise and fall with each gentle breath. Good. Let's go ahead and bring our hands outside our knees. We'll use our hands to gently draw the legs back towards each other. Scooping the tailbone under a little bit. So let's actually lift our hips off of the ground and scoop the tail under and replace our hips back down on the earth. We'll roll the shoulder blades under a little bit more. Let's take the right leg up towards the ceiling. We can keep this left knee bent if we'd like, or we can lengthen this leg out towards the wall in front of us, whatever feels more supportive for our low back. Spreading the toes, we can make some circles with that extended leg, the leg up towards the sky. And then maybe point and flex a couple of times. Good. Let's bend that right knee. We're going to take our right hand outside the leg. So either holding around the shin or the ankle, or maybe if it's available, the pinky toe side edge of our foot. And then just letting that knee fall down towards the ground. Let's use our left hand on our left hip to gently remind that hip to stay rooted into the earth. Bottom of our right foot up towards the sky in half happy baby. Can we soften the shoulders a little bit more, softening the jaw, and then just letting the weight of our hand and gravity open up that inner hip a little bit. Knee drawing down as much as feels good today. Always reminding ourselves that there is no destination. Our only destination is sensation. So once we feel sensation, that's it. That's how we know that we have made it into the pose. We feel something and we can still breathe. Good. Let's go ahead and release that right leg. If our left leg is still bent, that's fine. Let's shift the hips over towards the right, and then we'll drop the knees over towards the left. Maybe wiggling out that left shoulder from underneath us, looking out over our right fingertips in a nice gentle twist. Let's see if we can stack the hips as best we can and then flatten both shoulder blades into the earth. Good. Letting the belly rise and fall as we reposition our spine here. A nice, gentle, natural adjustment of our spine. And then on our inhale, let's turn back towards the ceiling. We'll shift our hips towards neutral once again. And then taking the left leg into the sky, maybe the right foot stays on the floor, or we can lengthen the leg out in front of us, holding on behind the back of the left leg. Shaking and vibrating is a good thing. My leg's shaking already. That's good. When those muscles vibrate, they release stress, they release tension, they release any kind of trauma that may be trapped in our body, whether it be big or small. And then let's bend that knee. We'll take our left hand outside either the leg or the left pinky toe side. Bottom of our foot towards the ceiling. Let's bend that knee and just let the knee fall down towards the floor. I like to lengthen my leg here, so maybe you do too, or you can keep your right foot on the floor, knee bent, right hand gently pressing our right hip down so that the back of both hips are on the earth. Half happy baby, second side, breathing into those hips. Good, and then let's bend that knee, release our foot, bringing both feet to the earth again. Let's bump the hips over towards the left, drop the knees to the right, stacking our hips, wiggling out that right shoulder from underneath us, and then looking over the left fingertips. Nice twist on the second side, bringing out the body, releasing any other tension that may have been trapped, letting it melt out of us now. And on our next breath, let's go ahead and come back to our neutral spine. We can hug our knees in towards our chest, maybe rocking gently from side to side. If there's any other posture that we need before ending practice today, let's go ahead and do that. Maybe it's a full happy baby. Maybe it's just legs in the sky for another modified inversion. If you'd like to end practice the same way we began, with the legs up the wall, feel free to do that, or legs on the chair, whatever you chose before, feel free to do that. And if you'd like to come into traditional Shavasana, that's available too. I forgot to mention that the essential oil in my diffuser today is neroli, further helping the crown chakra to open via scent. Good, and then when we're ready, let's go ahead and move into Shavasana, our final relaxation, our most important pose of our entire practice. The pose we have been building up to this whole time. Letting the feet flop open towards the corners of our mats, rolling the shoulder blades underneath us. Let's take a cleansing breath. Inhaling through the nose, filling up. Open mouth exhale. Letting everything go. Good. The time for doing is complete, and now it is time to simply be. Just letting our body and our mind and our breath rest. If you would like to remain in your Shavasana, please do. Otherwise, let's deepen the breath. Whispering gentle movement into fingers and toes, beginning to wake up the body gradually. When you're ready for more, maybe circling wrists and ankles, or even exploring a full body stretch, taking the arms overhead, the feet forward. And when you're ready, bending the knees, gently rolling over to your favorite side, pausing here for a breath. Supporting the head with the hand, maybe even cradling one hand on the top of the head. Connecting one more time physically with the crown chakra. Our place of connection to spirit, to the universe, to the rest of humanity. With as little effort as possible, making our way back up into seated, closing the eyes once again, uniting the hands together in front of our heart space. The sound for the crown chakra is Om. So we'll seal our practice with the sound of one round today. Let's take a cleansing breath first, in through the nose, filling up. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale to Om. Bowing the chin to the chest in a symbol of gratitude for this opportunity to move our bodies, to be on our mat, to practice yoga. May our yoga practice be an opportunity for us to open our thoughts, open our mind, open our being to giving and receiving and being with the universe around us. Thank you all so much for coming today. Thank you for practicing yoga. Namaste. Beautiful job, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time. As always, questions, comments, concerns, or interpretive dances, please let me know. Bye.